Next, we're going to start our next topic, Material Master in SAP Production Planning. So the topics that we're going to cover today, they are organizational layout of Material Master, prerequisites to creating Material Master, various methods of creating Material Master record, classification of Material Master, batch management using classification, variant configuration, how to update or change Material Master, mass maintenance of Material Master, archiving and deletion process for Material Master. So first of all, start with a business example that where you can use this Material Master topic. So as a project lead for implementing Material Master files, you must be aware of the structural design of the objects in SAP ERP. You want to learn how the Material Master is structured to integrate it with several business areas in your company. The Material Master. The Material Master in SAP is used by different areas of a company. So different area means here that the Material Master is not only used by SAP PP, but the same Material Master record is used by other departments as well. For example, sales and distribution SD module, MM module, PM modules, and also the accounting side of SAP. So we have a common Material Master record that will be used by different departments of a company, including SAP Production Planning. So in a Material Master record, you have different views. So views means the type of data that you can store over there. For example, here you can see we have a data called basic data. So in a minute I'll show you practical as well. So basic data. So basic data, in basic data you can store the basic data like name of the material, description of the material, weight, units of measure, things like that. Then we have MRP data, material requirement planning. Then we have stock in plant, accounting view. So these are just the different views of a Material Master. Then we have storage, warehouse management, costing, classification, forecasting, quality management, work scheduling, sales and distribution, and purchasing. So these are the common views of a Material Master record. So before we go further, let me create a Material Master record. So let me start. Let me log into SAP again. So here I will log in again. So the transaction code to create a master data is to create a Material Master record is MM01 is a transaction, and to change a Material Master, the transaction code is MM02. I'll show you the menu path as well if you want to go to the menu path MM01. So here you need to follow the menu path here. Go to the logistics, open logistics, and then production, master data, Material Master, and here again material, and then create journal. Open that. Here you can see MM01. So just double click on this MM01 link, or on the top menu bar command bar you can type MM01. So instead of going to this menu path, you can directly type here MM01 and press enter, and it will open the Material Master creation screen for you. So here we'll go step by step. So first you need to give the material name. What is the name of the material that you are going to create? So here the material name will be say for example I will call it It can be, say for example, laptop, it can be a pump, it can be whatever they manufacturing, the company is manufacturing, or it can be a raw material as well. There are different types of material. For example, the finished goods the company is making, or the raw material it's using, or it can be semi-finished goods. So different categories of a material that we'll talk later on. For now, I will create say my company is making laptop, for example. So here I will say laptop, give it whatever name you like. So I'll put my initial underscore gs, so that I can keep it separate from other records. So you can also create, when you create your own material, so use your initial so that you can keep it separate from others. And here you need to select the industry sector. So I'll talk about what is industry sector in a minute, but let us use mechanical engineering. Then you need to select the material type. So here different types of material we have. For example, here you can see ROH, which is raw material. You can create a raw material, but I'm creating a finished good. So that's a FERT, F-E-R-T. Here, that one, finished product. So select finished product here for now and press enter. So now system is asking me to select what views I want to create. So here we're talking about the same views that I was showing you here, that what views you want to create. Basic data, MRP data, production planning data, sales data. So here, for now, just select these views that are important views or used by most of the industry. For example, basic data 1 and 2. I'll show you in a minute what they are. Sales data, also select sales data. There are three of them: sales data, data 1, data 2, and this one. And then also select purchasing data if you want, and scroll down, and here select MRP, MRP1, MRP2, MRP3, MRP4. So as we go further, you will understand what all these views are all about. Then select work scheduling, then scroll down, then select accounting and costing. That's it. Okay, there's some other views as well. For example, warehouse management. This is not of our use. Quality management. This is not of our use. Okay, so we just will use these views to create our material. So once you selected that, say click on this OK button, press enter or click on this button, continue. Here system is asking me for what plant you want to create. So here you can enter the plant is say 1000. So for now, just use plant number 1000. Later on, I will be showing you how you can create your own plant and you can use them. So use the plant number 1000 and store location 0001. And also you can also see, if I click on this little button here, you can see all the available plants here. So there are so many plants here because this is a dummy system. That's why we have a lot of plants. So that's a plant. And sales organization, you can also search for it, but I would advise you to use 1000 number, sales organization and distribution channel 10. Once you have entered this data, select OK button, see continue. Now first of all, you will see system will take you to the first tab, which is basic data 1. So here the first tab is basic data, then we'll go to the second tab, basic data 2, and so on. So here whatever mandatory fields there are, just enter those one. Okay, so system will be prompting you. Any field that you will see this little tick box, see this one and that one, they are mandatory. For example, here you need to enter the description of the material. So here I will be calling it, say, laptop, say 15-inch. I will just put GS as my initial here so that I can keep it separate from others. So base unit of measure, I can say, is if you click on this little search button, you can see different materials, different unit of measure here. It can be kg, can be pieces, can be cartons, can be gram, kg, ton. Okay, so for us in this case, we can use up maybe pieces, or each. You can also use each. For example, you will find them in alphabetical order. Each, this one, each, or you can directly type each here. And there's one more mandatory field here, material group here. So select a material group. Material group is like in what category this material will be falling. So just select any entry from here. I'll say electronics, like that. So there are some other fields as well, but they are not mandatory. Okay, so you can enter the other fields if you want, but leave it like that and just enter the mandatory one. For example, the weight here you can enter, say weight is 1 kg, net weight is 1 kg, volume is 1, like that, and press enter. When you press enter, it will take you to the, it's asking me the volume, so same 3. When you press enter, it will take you to the next tab. Here you can see basic data 2, where my cursor is. Okay, so here there is no mandatory field. Leave it like that and press enter again. Now it will take you to the next level what you have selected earlier. So sales org 1. So here press enter. If there is no mandatory field, it will ask you if there is anyone. Press enter. It's asking me, give me the text code here. Okay, so there are 2 types of text code, I think. Let me check. Yeah, there are 4 here. So just select 1 here for now, full text. So this is the sales and distribution data we're maintaining. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, press enter. And now again press enter. It will take you to the sales.org 2. Press enter again. Now it will take you to the sales general plan data. Press enter again. Now it's taking me to the purchasing tab here. So this is the purchasing data. Press enter again. If there is any mandatory field, it will ask you. Again, I'm on the MRP1 data, material requirement planning. So that's a big topic in SAP PP, and we'll talk about what is MRP later on in the other topics. But for now, just enter the mandatory fields. For example, MRP type, you can search for the different MRP type here. But for now, I would advise you to use PD. Here, enter PD, press enter. It's asking for the MRP controller. Search for the MRP controller and enter any value from here. Just enter something. Press enter. It's asking me for the lot size. We'll talk about what is lot size and all that later on. So I will say EX. Just enter the lot for lot EX. That's that one, EX. Or you can directly type here. Press enter. Again press enter. It's asking for the mandatory field scheduling margin key. We'll talk about this one later on. Just select any entry from here. Press enter. If there's a warning message at the bottom, you can ignore it by pressing enter. If there's an error message which is red color, then you need to make some entry over there. Press enter. Again press enter. Now I'm on the MRP3. Now I'm on the MRP4 tab. So it will keep going to the next tab automatically. Press enter. Now I'm on the work scheduling tab. Press enter. Now I'm on the accounting 1 tab. Press enter. Enter evaluation class is asking me. So select here evaluation class. So pick something here. Press enter. There's a warning message at the bottom. So you can ignore it, the warning, by pressing enter. Now I'm on the accounting 2. Press enter. I'm on the costing 1. Press enter. I'm on the costing 2. Press enter again. Another warning. Press enter. It's asking me, do you want to save it? I'll say yes. Now my material master is created. So at the bottom you can see a message, or you can click on the message at the bottom. Is saying that this material number has been created. So here I will write down that I have created a material master record, laptop underscore GS. So same way you can create your own material. And if you want to make any changes to anything, or you want to change the material master, you can go to MM02. I can go back. You can directly type on the top menu, or you can follow the menu path here. Similar menu path under change, MM02. Double click on it. It will remember my last created number, or you can enter it manually if it's not there. Press enter. Again, it's asking me what view you want to select. I can select the same views that I selected earlier, or any view, or it's not necessary to select all of the views. So only select those views where you want to work. So say for example, I can just select basic data tab, but I want to show you something else. So let me select other tabs as well. Accounting, costing, that's it. Say okay. It will ask you to give me the plant, store location, ignore the valuation type for now, and here the sales organization, and this is the distribution channel that we used. Say OK. So again, I'm on the basic data 1 tab. So here I can jump to basic data 2 here, then I can go to the sales data org here, or you can click on this little button on the corner here, and here it will show you all the tabs that are available here. So here we have I can jump to other tabs. For example, whatever tabs you have maintained. For example, I can directly jump to MRP3 tab. So I can select MRP3. So I'm on MRP3. So there's a mandatory field here. So let me enter that. So again, I will try that. So I'm on MRP3. If I want to jump to accounting tab, so I'm on the accounting tab. If I want to jump to costing tab, I can jump to costing tab. So either you can do it from this little uh, screen here, or you can select any tab available on the top here, like I can go to costing 2 1, accounting 2, any tab here. So either way you can do it. So this will be much quicker if you want to jump to the other screens. So as I said earlier, basic data is the basic data. If I go to the basic data here, you can see basic data. We enter the description, the name of the material, units of measure, material group, weight, net weight, volume, and also the sort of data. Similar way, in the sales tab, go to the sales tab, we enter the sales specific data. So this data will be used in the sales order, which is in the SAP SD side. Same way I can jump to the purchasing tab. So this purchasing data stored here for the same material master will be used in the SAP MM. That means in creation of the purchase order. If I jump to MRP1, MRP2, MRP3, MRP4, this data will be used in the material requirement planning. This is a common topic between SAP PP and SAP MM. Then I can jump to the say work scheduling. Work scheduling is only relevant for SAP PP, production planning. We'll talk about this one again later on in detail. And the accounting and costing views, they are relevant for the accounts department, or you can say FICO side of SAP. So I can go to accounting 1, accounting 2, costing 1, costing 2. So that's your material master, and that is how you create it, and that is how you change it using these transactions. Now we'll go into a little bit more detail. Now, when you look at the org level of a material master, we can divide into probably you can say 3 different parts. That means a client, the general data, okay, general data or the basic data that we created earlier, that data, what we entered there is here, that's a basic data where we entered the material number, description of the material, unit of measure, and other data. So this is a client data. That means this data will be common for every plant, every sales organization, every storage location, and all that. So it doesn't matter if the same material is being used in sales and distribution, in material management, production planning, quality management. The basic data, that means the name of the material, description of the material, weight, units of measure, they will be common. Doesn't matter what department is using this material master. So that's the general data which is common to every plant or every org level of a company. Then we have plant specific data. So any data that is stored within a plant, okay, like MRP data, work scheduling data, purchasing data, they are plant specific, and same goes for storage location data. So what I mean here is, for example, if I open the same material here, any data that is stored here in basic 1 and basic 2, basic 1, basic 2, they are common data for every org level. However, this MRP data and any data, also the purchasing data and MRP data and so on, MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, accounting, work scheduling, all these data starting from MRP 1 down to the bottom, they are basically plant specific. That means this data can differ for different plants. Okay, so let me show you the example. So here what I'm saying is, basic data is common. However, plant data is not common. It's specific to specific plant. So for now, I use the plant number 1000 to create my material master. If I want to use the same material for a different plant, say plant number say 1100, the plant specific data will different, or can be different, can be same. That's up to you, us how you want to create, but it can be different, but it can't be common. Okay, can't be common all the time. So if you want to extend the same material that I created here, let me copy that. So here is our material number. So if you want to extend the same material to other plants, so what you need to do is to extend it, you need to use the mm01 transaction again. So use the same transaction again, which what we used to create it. So here you can, you can also see one thing on the command bar. If I enter mm01, it will not accept it. It doesn't like that. That means I need to go to the home screen first, and then, for example, I need to go to home screen here, and then if I enter mm01, then it's fine, then it will accept it. So what you can do is, again, if I try to enter mm01, because not on the home screen, it will not like it. See, so what you can do is, doesn't matter on what screen you are, you do not need to always go to the home screen first. If you put /n to start with, and then enter, like I enter /n here, and then enter whatever transaction code you want to use, it will work then. For example, here, from here I want to go to mm02 /n mm02. There you go. It will go to the mm02 screen. If you want to go to mm01, mm01, here it is. And if you only put /n, that means go to the home screen first. /n, press enter. See, it's on the home screen. So /n means home screen and then the next transaction. So here we go. I'll go to mm01, and I want to extend this material to this plant as well. So what I can do is I can copy the material here, enter the material here, press enter. But this time I can select say basic data, MRP data, work scheduling, accounting data, costing data. Okay, so now because I'm on mm01, I'm creation screen. So system is thinking I'm going to create something. So it will ask me what do you want to create. So I just selected this view, say okay. Here it's asking me to what plant you want to create. If I use the same plant, if I say okay, it's not happy. It's saying material already created for this plant and storage location. So I need to enter a different plant. For example, if I search for the plant here, so say 1100, if I select 1100, choose, now it should be happy. So if I say okay, now it's directly jumping to the MRP1 screen. And it's asking me what value you want to enter here. So earlier I entered PD, so now this time I'll enter something else just to show you that we can have a separate data. So this time I will enter say P1 and press enter. So there's some setting, no, not setting. It's asking me, depending on what MRP type you use, it will ask you different fields as mandatory. So here I will enter say 2 as planning time fence. It's asking me for MRP controller. I'll pick something different MRP controller, say 101. Press enter. Now it's asking me for lot size. Last time I used the lot size as EX, now I'll use FX. Press enter. Because I selected FX, it's asking me this field is mandatory. What is a fixed lot size? I'll say 100. Press enter and keep going. Press enter. Now there's another scheduling margin key, mandatory. Select a value here. Press enter. Press enter. Press enter. Now it's going to a work scheduling tab. You can see on the top, it's on the work scheduling tab. Press enter. Now it's on the accounting one tab. Press enter. It's asking me for the valuation class, so select something here. So I'll select the other one, and again press enter. Ignore any warning by pressing enter. Press enter again, and say yes, I want to save it. Done, it's saved. So the same material we created for a different plant. However, for this plant, the MRP data is different. For example, if I go to /n mm02, enter, say I want to jump to I want to see the MRP data. Okay, so MRP1 data only. Say okay. So here it's asking me which plant. Okay, so here it's remembering the last plant, but here I can select the search screen here, click on this button. It will show you 2 plants only. Why 2 plants? Because the data is maintained for these 2 plants only. So here I can select the plant where I want to see the data for. So I can say I want to see the plant data for MRP for 1000. Say choose, say okay. So it will take me to the MRP one here, so which has different data, which has different values here. If I go back, start again, select MRP1, and now this time if I do the search here, select 1100, choose okay, and here it's showing you different data because I have selected different plant. Even you can see the plant here. Here on the top you can see material, here you can see what plant you're looking here. So basically this means that a material can have a common data for basic data and all that. However, it will have different data for plant. For example, I can use another plant, say plant number 1200, another plant. So in my company there are different plants used, and we have created different plants for that. So different plants can have their own data. So we'll talk about plants and its definition later on, but this is just for understanding about the material master, that one material can be extended to different plants and it can have different data for those plants. So if you remember, in the previous video I've talked about the org structure where on the top we have a client have a plant can have different storage location. So it can have storage location, say number 1, it can have another storage location number 2, it can have another storage location number 3. So that means a plant can have different storage location, and different storage location can have different data. Okay, so let me show you this one. So right now I created the plant data, this and this, but this plant can have, now I'm talking about the storage location, this plant can have different storage locations. So plant number 1000 can have different storage location, like it can have 0001, it can have 002, 003, and so on. Now each storage location can have its own data again. For example, here if I start MM02 again to change a material master, go to MRP1. So here last time I created plant 1000 and 1100, but I used the storage location as 0001. I used 001 storage location only. What if I want to extend it to other storage location? We'll talk about the definition of storage location later on again. So whenever you want to extend to a plant or storage location, you need to start with MM01. So enter the material number here, press enter, and select MRP views, and also storage location data here. See, storage location 1, storage location 2. So when you say okay, here we already maintained this one. If I say okay, it will not accept it. Now it will accept it because I didn't maintain this view earlier. So let me maintain this view here, plant storage location 1, storage location 2, press enter, go to next view and save it. Now it's done. Let me start again. If I select MRP 1 to 4 and storage location data, say okay, now it will not accept it. Okay, so I will say I want to extend it for a different storage location. So search for the storage location here. So you can say 002. There is a combination of the plant and store location that we can create in customizing, that we'll see later on. So there are so many plants here, you can see, so better to type it manually. So here I will type 0002 and okay. So I'm maintaining the data for the storage location for this plant, a different store location. Now it will take me to MRP1, press enter, press enter, press enter, keep pressing enter unless there is a mandatory field. You can see here, before I save it, you can see here I'm on the plant number 1000, I'm on the storage location number 002. So I can save it. So I have created the data for storage location 002 as well. So one was already created, two I have just created for the same plant. Same thing you can do for other plants. So if I go to the MM02 to change the material master, if I select MRP views, I want to say okay. So here I can see the view of plant number 1000 and 001 storage location, or I can search for the storage location that is maintained here. It will show you whatever is maintained. So it's saying that 1000 and 002 is also maintained. So select that entry. So this is the entry that I'm going to see. So you will see those specific data for that storage location specially. So hope this is clear. The level within the org level within a material master. So again, I'll repeat again. So here you can say we have a general data, like a common data like description. Under that we can have different plants, one plant, plant number 2, plant number 3, and one plant can have different storage location, and you can maintain the different data for that storage location. Now we'll talk about other things like industry sector. Industry sector, when you create a material master, what we do is we select an industry sector. So if I go to MM01 again, earlier I selected industry sector here. So what is industry sector? You can see chemical industry, mechanical industry, pharmaceutical, telecommunication. You can select any, but for our training I'll be using mechanical engineering for now. You can press F1 here. So I'm pressing F1 here to understand what that field is all about. So in brief, what that field is all about, it will, depending on whether you selected mechanical engineering or chemical, so it will show you the screen appears and in which order. So different industry sector can have different screen or different fields that you can see. Okay, so if you select chemical, it will have those fields or some mandatory fields that are specific to the chemical industry. Same thing goes for pharmaceutical company, and same thing goes for mechanical engineering. Again, which industry specific data appears, again what type of data will appear, what type of screen will appear, what type of views will appear. So that may vary. And which brand of industry the material is assigned to. So they're talking about the same brand here. So what type of industry you have assigned the material master. So in our training, doesn't matter, you can practice with others, but for our training we'll be using mechanical engineering. Another thing I want to mention here is material type. Other thing that I selected here was finished product. Okay, so if I press F1 here, so it's all about material type. So what is material type? So material type, like as I said earlier, we can create a material for like raw material, trading goods, packaging materials, finished goods, semi-finished goods, and there's so many material here that you can see in the drop down here. There are different materials, but these are the common ones that I'm talking here, like trading goods and finished goods and raw materials like that. So again, if I press F1 here, so you can see what this material type is doing. Okay, so what is the use? So whether the material is assigned, material number is assigned internally or externally, that I'll talk in a minute. What is material number, and what number range, what type of number you can assign, what screen can be displayed. You can have different screen, different views depending on the material type that you're using here. That means for raw material you will see something different in the screen or some fields, which can be different from the other one, which is finished product. And the main important thing is number range, what number range that you can use. So we'll talk about number range in a minute again. Then we'll talk about here material numbering or number range. So what number range is, for example, when I created a material here, I use my own material, so I called it laptop underscore gs. So that means it accepted whatever number I have given. Now this type of customizing we can do, that either system should accept our own numbering or our own name, or system should generate a new name. For example, here if I say I want to create a material, but I will not enter any material number here, what I will do, I will leave the material number field as empty, and I will follow the same step, press enter. For now, just for experimenting, I will select basic data 1, say OK. You can notice that it will create a number automatically. It will pick up the next number, like the next number is 332. If I create one more material, it will be 3333. If I create a third material, it will be 3334, 35, 36, and so on. So it will keep picking the next number, next number, next number. So here I can say this is a test material, say pieces, and I can save it. I'm just creating one view here for now, and you can see at the bottom 3332 is saved. I can go to mm02 and I can go into this one. Because I selected only one view, so that's why I can't see many views here. Select that and you can see the material. So 3332. Even you can search for a material by different description. For example, it's not always that I can remember the material name. I can go to mm02. I'm looking for a material. I'm searching for a material, and obviously we cannot remember all the material number here. So how do you remember? How do you search for a material? You can click on this little button here. It's not showing the standard screen. Let me show you the other screen. Okay, just ignore me what I'm doing here. It's not the standard view actually, so I just need to go to the standard view. Then I will come back to this view later on. Okay, let me log off and come back in again. Just ignore this one. I'll fix this one later on. I will show in the next video. But for now, yes, here it is. That's what I was looking for. So it's trying to search by a class, that I'll show you what is class later on, but let me fix it. And what you will see like this, like this. Okay, so let me fix it and I'll start again. Okay, so let me cancel that. Now I will start the transaction again. mm02 mm02, where you search for a material. So here I can select on this little button to search for a material. Here, this is the right screen. That's that sort of screen you will see on your own setting. So here I can search by material number, by material description, okay, and the different ways to search. If you click on this little button on the corner, you can search by old material number, bill of material. We'll talk about bill of material, things like that later on. But for now, you can search by material number and material description, or there's another option by like material type, like finished goods and all that, by material group. And there's another view here somewhere here, which is by material plant. But for now, we'll be selecting the just this standard screen here. So here I can say, for example, I'm searching for a material. I know that material. I remember the material description, or I remember the material name. So here I can say material name is a laptop. I can say laptop star. If I say laptop star, star means give me everything, show me all the material which is starting with laptop. If I press enter, you will see whatever materials are there which are starting with laptop in the beginning, it's showing me everything here. So here you can see the material I created, laptop underscore GS. So that's the meaning of star. Or if I remember the description, for example, I can search again. Here I can say material description is a laptop star again, star. That means give me all the material starting having the material laptop as description. So there's so many here. So again, you can pick whatever is yours. Because this is a dummy system, there's a lot of data created, so you can just be specific with your own data. So that's the mine I created earlier. So I can select that and I can go into this one. So that is how we can search for a material. Next is units of measure. What unit of measure is, for example, you have one product and it has some basic unit of measure like piece, each, or something else. But when we're selling it, or when we doing the production, or when we purchasing it, we using the different units of measure. Okay, for example, it can be cartons. We're selling it in cartons, we're buying it in cartons, or we're making it in cartons, or we're making it as a unit of measure as pallet. So the material can be same. For example, this is a material, maybe whatever your company is making it, you can call it laptop, you can call it a brick, a pump, or whatever. But when you sell it, or maybe in different business scenario, sometimes you use it as carton. Okay, so in one carton you have 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a carton. So you can use that carton. You have 4 pieces. In crate, you're using 16 pieces, or in pallet you're using 72 pieces. So that is how you can also maintain the unit of measure. So I show you how you can maintain the unit of measure. So let me go back. So open your material here, just select any tab for now, and then go to this button here, additional data. Go to additional data, and here you go to the unit of measure tab, second tab here, and here you can maintain whatever you like. For example, I can say I can maintain the same data. For example, 1 carton is equal to 4 pieces. So you can say 1. So here you can search for unit of measure as carton. It's called CAR, that one, carton. And I can say here 4. So that means 1 carton is equal to 4 pieces. Same way you can do the pallet. Pallet is 72. So I can say 1 pallet is equal to 72 each. So 1 pallet is equal to 72 pieces of the material. and we can use this unit of measure in our production order and all the stuff later on. So I can save it. I can enter into this one again, select basic data 1, say OK, and go to the additional data again, unit of measure. And here if you want, you can delete it again. Let me delete and I'll show you another functionality. Put the cursor on a line, delete line, put the cursor on line and click on this delete line button and save it. The other option is, if my company is using the similar unit of measure for most products, so what we can do is, here I can create a group, unit of measure group. See, and the group, there's nothing here because it's nothing maintained in the customizing. So we can maintain a unit of group here that will be used, or we can straight away use it for all materials without doing a lot of entries. So I show you how you can create a unit of measure group. So create one common group and we can use the same setting for every material. That will save our time. So at the bottom you can see that is a menu path in customizing. So again, the main customizing I will be learning later on, but for now quickly I'll show you how to do this one. Go to the menu path SPRO. So every customizing will be under SPRO that I'll be showing you later on, but just to do this setting, go to /n SPRO, click on SAP reference IMG, and here this is the customizing menu. We'll talk about this one in detail later on, but let me do this one. So go to this menu path, Logistic General, Product Lifecycle Management. Logistic General. Product Lifecycle Management. And then Material Master. Setting for key fields. And here you can define unit of measure group. Open that one. So here there's nothing here, that is why you can't say anything in the Material Master setting. So here I can maintain the same thing. For example, I can click on new entry. I can create a group number, say Z1. Group number is Z1, or I can call it, say, GS1. I can call it GS maybe. You can, when you create, you use your own initial. So I'll say this is GS, and here I can say same thing I will create. So one carton is equal to 4 pieces. So I can say carton, CA carton. So 1 equal to 4, like that. Create another one, say GS. I'll say pallet. 1 pallet is equal to, I will say 72. Press enter. So same way, I just created 2. You can create as many as you like here under GS only, under GS group. So when you create your own group, you use your own initial, and you can create more than 2, more than 1, whatever, how many entries you want to do. So save it. Now whenever you, first time when you customize something, whenever you save it, you will see a screen like this. You will see a blank screen. Okay, so here you need to give it a request number. You need to create a request number. So we'll talk about request number later on, but briefly what it is, a request is whatever customizing you have done is, it will be stored in a folder, and later on that customizing request will be sent to the testing environment or the production environment that I've talked in first video. So here to create a request, click on this little button and give whatever name you want to give. So you can say GS transport request. So it's like a folder where you can keep recording everything or whatever changes you're doing in the customizing to later on to send it to the other client. So save it, click on the save button. Now it will automatically create a number, and next time it will remember this number for you. So I can say OK. So now it is saved. Now it is saved. Now I can go to a Material Master again, open one more screen here, click on this new session, open any material, MM02. We'll open the same material here, select basic data 1, say OK, say additional, go to additional data, units of measure, and here now go to unit of measure. So you will see one entry that I just created. So select that. As soon as you select it, it will automatically pick up the setting that you have done in customizing. So for example, I have done only for 2. You can create it for 10, 5, 6, whatever, and this will be a time saving. So whenever someone will create a material, they can assign it a group, and that group will do all the copy of the setting that you have done instead of doing one by one entry. So this is just a time saving technique. For example, if you create another one, say you will create another one called say Z1, for example, Z1, Z1. So anything under Z1, so say for example, I created Z1 has 4 entries. So here you will see one is GS, one is Z1. And when someone will select Z1, whatever 4 entries you have created here, they will appear here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how it works. So you can create as many as group as you want. All you need to make sure is the name of the group should remain constant for the number of entries. For example, if you want to do 4 entries in one go, all should be Z1, Z1, Z1. Create another one called Z2. So like that. So I can go back. I will not save it. So that's units of measure group. Now we'll talk about default values for material. What default values of material is, when you create a material master, there are different ways you can have a default values to save some time. For example, when I'm creating a material master, if I go to MM01 again, say I'm creating a new laptop again or something else, say laptop, I want to create a new material called laptop GS1. So here I'll be selecting mechanical engineering, finished goods, but to save the time I can copy it from another material. So most of the fields will be copied across. So for example, laptop GS that I created earlier, I can copy from laptop GS, I can create laptop GS 123 material number. So whatever entries you have done here, that will be copied to the new material number except the description of the material. So let me press enter. Select basic data, sales data, purchasing and MRP data, and leave everything else, just these data, and say OK. It will ask me from what plant do you want to copy, what store location, what sales organization, and all that you want to copy. So I'm copying from this one to this one. So copy from which sales plants and all that, and say OK. Say continue. So here you can see it will copy everything except the material number. Obviously material number will be different. So here I can call it GS123, and you can see everything is copied like gross weight, material group, unit of measure, and I can keep pressing enter, press enter, 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 keep pressing. So it's just trying to copy every data and just going to the next screen, next screen, next screen, like that. So it is a time saving thing. When you copy a material, you can copy from other material and it will copy all the fields, and you can change any field as you go further. So if you want to change something in this field, select whatever you want. So this one, press enter, and once you have finished all of it will say yes, I want to save it. So that's another way to copy a material. So you can copy a material, and also you can have a default values. For example, whenever I create a material, now it remember my old setting. Let me select something else. Let me select a blank entry. Now go back. M01. So this is always blank. Like if I am always using mechanical engineering, why it's better to make it a default as mechanical engineering. So what you can do is you can go here to the default, select industry sector. But before that, it's asking me, give me some entry here, here, and here. So let me enter something here. So next time, if I want to use the industry sector as mechanical engineering as default, click on default, industry sector, and here you can select mechanical engineering. So this will be default all the time. Even if I log on today, If I come back tomorrow, this will be my default setting only for me. You can click this button to hide this field, but leave it like that. That's my default setting. Not only this, you can also create your views at default. For example, if I'm creating a material, so let me enter say ZZZZ material, press enter, ZZZ123 or something. Okay, it's not, doesn't like it, so let me select something else, say this one. Press enter. These views I always need to select. You can always create a default setting. So whatever default setting, whatever views you want to use all the time as a default, select them and click on this default setting button at the bottom. Click on default setting, and now if I cancel it, next time when I come back, go to MM01, creating a material here, press enter. See, it will remember the default views that I created. So that is how you can create your default setting. So this will be default unless I change it. So if you want to make any changes here, unselect those view and click on default setting again. That will be my default again. Same goes for MM02. If I select MM02, change material master. So here you can see it will again remember those views. Again, go next. Here, whatever plant you want to make as default. So I want to make my 1000 plant as default and 001 as store location as default. And also the sales organization you can enter if you want, and distribution channel. Click on default setting. This is my default. I click on the default setting button. Now if I cancel, come back now or come back tomorrow, it will remember your setting. Press enter, enter. You can see it will remember your setting. So if you're using the same plant all the time, same store location all the time, you can create it as a default setting. Other thing you can do is you can create a profile. You can create a MRP profile, or you can also create a forecasting profile. So profiles, let's talk about profiles here. MRP profile, same way you can create a forecasting profile. What MRP profile is, we can create a MRP profile. Let me cancel one screen, go back. So here if I go to logistics, production, MRP, not MRP, master data, material master, here profile, open profile, MRP profile, and here you have forecasting profile. So click on MRP profile, open that, MMD1, MMD1 transaction to create, MMD2 to change, MMD3 to delete. So what profile means, in a material master, let me open one, let me go to MM02 again. When you create a material master, you want to have a default setting which should be copied to MRP 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is MRP profile. So all the fields that you can see here, MRP1 has these many fields, MRP2 has these many fields, 3 and 4 has so many fields. So any field you want to lock it, you want to default it, you can do it to save time. So here I show you how to do it. So let me create a profile here, go to MMD1, double click on that. So here I can create a profile. So I will call it ZGS. I already created one for ZGS earlier for MM training. So I'll call it ZGS2 and press enter. So give it a name. So I'll say MRP profile PP training, I'll call it. So here, these are the fields it's showing you that are coming from the MRP view, like MRP type, MRP controller that we used earlier, safety stock, and these and all the other fields. So here you have two options. Either you can make it a fixed value, that means whatever value is copied from here cannot be changed, or you can make it a default value. So let me select couple of default, some fixed value. Say I'll say MRP type, I want to default it to something, and then planned delivery time I want to fix. See, planned delivery time I want to fix. MRP controller I want to default it. Again, you can scroll down. There's so many fields here, but let me pick some fields only here. Safety stock I want to default here. Okay, so just I've selected few fields here just for understanding. Once you have selected the field, so any default field means this field value is defaulted that I'm going to create here. Any which is saying fixed, that cannot be changed. So if I go to data screen 1 here on the top, so because I selected 4 fields here, we can select. Go to selection screen again. I selected 1, 2, 3, 4. So all those 4 fields will shown here when I click on data screen. So it's asking me what MRP type you want to use. I will say MRP type I want to use is, search for it, PD. What MRP controller you want to use? So just select some controllers, say Smith 006 something 002. What planned delivery time you want to use? So you can see this is blue, everything else is black, because blue means this will be fixed value, cannot be changed. I can say planned delivery time is 10 days, like the time to do the procurement. Safety stock I can say should be 1000. Go to data screen 2. If there's something, there's nothing here. So once you're done, save it. So ZGS2 is saved. I created a MRP profile here, ZGS2. So let's see how it works. Even if you want to make any changes to this profile, go to MMD2, enter the ZGS2, press enter, and make whatever changes you want to make. Go to data screen, make any changes that you wish here. So let me show you how we can use it. So when you create a material, if I go to MM01 again, I will give it the name material as MRP profile. I'll say MRP underscore profile underscore GS, because just a testing profile. Press enter, and we'll be selecting here. I will just unselect all the views. Click on this little button to unselect it, because we just experimented. Go to basic data 1 view and MRP views here. And if you want to create a forecasting as well, I'll select the forecasting view as well for now. So I've selected MRP views, forecasting view, and basic data view for now. Say OK. Here it's defaulting to my planned and store location. Here I can enter the MRP profile. So whatever MRP profile I just created, so let me search for it. ZGS2 I created. Here it is, ZGS2, select that. Same way, if you have created a forecasting profile, you can select it here. So I will discuss that later on. Say OK. So whatever data you have maintained in MRP profile, that will be copied. So let me say continue. I'll say MRP profile test. So it's a PC, press enter. It will jump to MRP1 view because that's what we selected. You can see here, this is already defaulted to PD. Why? This setting is coming from where? From MRP profile that we just created. It's defaulting to MRP controller as 002. This also setting is coming from there. Press enter. I did not maintain any lot size, so let me enter the lot size here, EX. You can see this is grayed out and this is saying 10. Why this is grayed out? Why I can't change it? Because I maintained it as a fixed value. That means no one can change it. So that is why this is saying I'm grayed out. So you can see, and also the safety stock is saying 1000. Where it's coming from? From that profile. So whatever data you have maintained in profile, that will be copied across to your material master. So any view that you can create here, you can see here between MRP1 to MRP4, you can maintain all of them. So that's your MRP profile. So I can save this material. It's asking me for one mandatory field, forecasting, and save it. Done. So I'll go back to MRP profile again, MMD2, data scheme 1. So you can see we maintain 10 and 10. This is blue because because I maintained it here as fixed value. As fixed value. This is a fixed value. This one, checkbox. That's why it's 10 and cannot be changed over there. And everything else is just copied across as default, but it can be changed over there. So that's your MRP profile. Same way you can create a forecasting profile here. Create and change MP80, MP81. So that's what I'm giving you in the assignment, to create MRP profile and to test it. Now we'll talk about classification of material. What classification of material means is materials can be classified depending on different criteria. Not only material, different master data can be classified. For example, not only material master, so here you can see we have material master here. Material master can be classified, but also the PRT master data that we'll discuss later on, documents, work centers, and routings can be classified with some classification. Now here I'll talk about material master classification, and you will understand what it is and how it is applied to other master data. So for now, what is classification? Classification means if in the material master, you can only see some default fields. So those fields are SAP default. And what if the business wants to have some customized fields, their own fields? What they can do here? So just for this purpose, we have the classification function available. For example, I'm creating a material master for a pump, say a pump, a centrifugal pump or any type of pump. So in the material master, I want to maintain the color of the pump, capacity of the pump, speed of the pump, material of the pump, use of the pump, like that. Or I want to maintain something like what is the output, what is the turning speed, what is the material like cast iron. So this type of data we can maintain whatever we want. It's just an example of pump. Basically my company says selling say laptop, what is the color of laptop, what is the size of the laptop. Any data you can think of, we can create those fields in the material master under classification. So let me show you how you can create your own classification if you want. Let me show you how the classification will work first. So whenever in the material master there's a view, there's another view called classification. This view here. This view, classification. There's a view called classification. Now in this view you can maintain your own setting. So let me show you the existing one. So I will maintain this view. So how to maintain a new view? MM01. Enter your existing material that I created earlier. Press enter. Unselect everything. I just want to maintain the classification data. So because not maintained, so I need to first maintain it. Go to classification tab here, select that and say continue. So here you can see classification type. There are different types of classification. I will discuss that in a minute. At the moment we're talking about the classification type as class. So class is 0001, and if you want to change it, you can click on this little button to change it. So if for the class, what we can do is I can maintain the class here. So let me maintain it, pick the existing one. For example, I can click on this search button, little search button here. And here I can search for everything. Just select for search for everything. And here is showing your different classes here. There's so many classes maintained here. For now, I will just pick something. Let me see, say, or maybe take the example of pump. Maybe let me search for pump. Click on this little button here, and here in the keyword I will search for pump, P-U-M-P. Say pump star, pump star. Star means give me everything which is not starting with pump but has the keyword pump in it. So say okay. So these are the one for pump. So I can select something here, for example, pumps, this one. Once you select pump, press enter. And here at the bottom, it will show you some fields like pump lift, pump capacity, pump speed, material usage. So if I say pump lift, open that. So pump lift is 10 m, 10 meter, whatever the unit of measure is. And pump capacity, what is pump capacity? Pump capacity, here I can maintain the pump capacity as 10 m3. And I can say okay. And for the turning speed, I can maintain some, whatever the speed of the pump is, the 2000. Material is, what is the material? So it can be a cast iron, select cast iron. And usage is, whatever the usage is say house technology, for example. So that's how I can maintain it. Not only one you can maintain more than one classification of the pump. So here, so that's how we can maintain it. And then I can pick another one. For example, here I can click on this plus sign to insert row, and I can find another one. So you can have more than one if you want. So I can search for it. So just pick something from here. Say, let me pick coil, whatever coil is. I don't know what that is. Press enter. And here you can see at the bottom, you will see some entries for coil, or double click on coil. So here's the coil one. So for coil, it's talking about what is the inductance. I don't know what that inductance is, but let me search. There's no entry here. It's not a good maintenance here. Terminal shape. So whatever the shape is, terminal placement, what the terminal placement. So this way you can maintain this data here. So that is the class. So I can, let me save it. I will come back to this material master. Go to MM02, enter, unselect all the data, select classification, go into classification, and here you can see whatever I have maintained. And whatever you have maintained, if you want to delete something out of it, for example, I want to delete coil, select coil, click on this delete button to delete the assignment. Delete coil, yes. So I can delete it. So in a minute I will show you how you can create your own customized classes. So I have only one here. So that's a class here. So that's the classification here. So now I'm going to show you how you can customize your own classification as per the business requirement. So to create classification, we first need to follow the menu path that I mentioned here. So let's go to the home screen. Here, cross application components and classification system. Master data. classes and characteristics. So basically this data is divided into two parts. So when you talk about classification, classification will fall under class. So we have a class first, and class have a classification assigned. So you can create a class with the name whatever XYZ, and under the class we'll be creating some classification. So let's see how we can create class and classification. So step number one is we'll create a class. So here go to CL02 transaction classes, double click on it. Here create a class. So to create a class, I can call it, always try to create the number with not the material master, not the master data, but everything in the customizing that I'll talk later on, starting with Z or Y. So here I'm going to create a class with name starting with Z. So I'll call it, say, Z. So say I have created a laptop earlier. So I will be creating attributes for the laptop. So I'll call it Z laptop. Then make sure you select the class type as 001, because that's the one we use as a classification of the material. So if you open this one, there are different classes that you can see here. Different classes. This one, so basically 001 is used in material master, and there's some other use in the other master data like work center, documents and all that, routing. And 001 is used in material master. 023 batch is used in material master, that I'll show in a minute, and there are two others. So for now, make sure you select 001 as the class type, and then click on this little button, create. So here give it some proper description. I will call it class for laptop. I'll put my initial here, and then go to here, first save it, go to characteristic first, characters, and here we'll be creating and assigning the character here. So save it. So we created Z laptop. I'll copy and paste here. So I created a class called Z laptop, and now we'll create the classification. So I'll open one more screen here, and here I can go to the menu path or directly go to the transaction CT04. CT04, enter. Here I can create a characteristics. So characteristics, like for laptop I want to create some characteristics. So you can think of any characteristics. For example, I can create, say, Z color, or I can create a Z size, and I can also create another one, say Z screen and size may be same, just leave it with two of them. So color and size. So here here I will call it characteristics I'm creating. So here call it Z color, and click on the create button. Better if you can, when you create your own, you can think of anything, but you can create like Z color underscore GS, put your initial if you want to keep it separate. Give a description here. I will say color laptop colors. Go to the value tab here, values. Before I go to value, there's a message here saying that choose the data type. That means what type of data you're going to maintain. Will it be like character, a currency field, a date field, a numeric field, a time format? For example, in this case, color will be characters. So I will select character, and now it's asking me maximum number of characters you need to enter here. I'll say maximum maybe 10, for example. Then jump to the value tab here, go to value, and here maintain the colors, whatever color you want to maintain. I'll say black, here I'll call it black, press enter, and then you can call it, say, red. Here call it red, and here you can say silver. Here you can call it silver. So create whatever you want, so you can make more entries here. Now any of those entries, if you want to make it as default, you can check that box. For example, I want to make the silver as default. Check this box, so silver will be defaulted. If you do not select any default here, so nothing will be defaulted. So I have created Z colors, color. So one is created here. Now I'll create Z size as a sorry, that's wrong. Not classification, it should be characteristics. Characteristics. So second one I'm creating Z size. So call it Z size. Click on create button. Same way, size. We can say laptop size. Enter a data type. It will be, in this case, this will be a numeric. So select numeric because I'm going to maintain some size. So maximum number of character, I'll say maybe size, maybe say 2. So here go to values. So here I can maintain like 15-inch, 13-inch laptop, 17-inch laptop, like that. And here I will not be making any default. So let's see what happens. So save it. Now we maintained Z size and Z color as characteristics. We're going to assign it to a class that we just created here. So here I will close this screen for now, and now that's my old screen. I can enter the, you can again start with the transaction here, CL02, and enter the class that I created here earlier, Z laptop, and click on the change button. Now go to the character tab here, and here you can either search by clicking on this search button. It will show you everything that is available in the system. If I search, say, or you can manually type that what you created just now. So there's so many entries here. So let me manually type here. So I created Z color and Z size. So here I can enter Z color and also Z size. Press enter. Save it. So this is done. So I have created my own class with own characteristics. So here what I'm going to do is, I will assign this class to my material that I created earlier. Go to mm02, enter, press enter, select classification, set OK. So here I already assigned this pump classification, so I can either delete it or I can assign on the top of that one. So if you want to assign another one, click on this plus button, insert row, and here I will manually type that I created Z laptop. So I can type here Z laptop, or better I will delete the first one so that you can see it clearly. Or delete it, nothing is there. So Z laptop, press enter. So you can see as soon as I press enter, it will show you those characteristics that I just created, and one of them is already defaulted at silver. Why? Because I have done the setting in that character. So let me open one more screen here for you. I'll go to the other transaction, CT04. Here I will show you Z color that I created. Go to display, values. So here you can see for silver, I checked this box here, which is defaulted here. That's why. You can still change it, but this is a default value that will be proposed here. I can change it to say black and say OK. Laptop size that we created earlier, 15-inch. Say I can select 15-inch, and now this is how we can customize, or we can create our own class and characteristic, and we can assign it to material. So this is a very common thing in a lot of businesses where we have standard fields available in SAP Material Master, but they want to have their own field depending on the business. So that's how we can create our own field. Now, how to find a material? So for example, I just created a material, but if you need to find a material with some specific characteristics, so earlier I've shown you so here if I search this search button, and earlier shown you can search by description and material, but what if you want to search a material by class? So what you can do is click on this little button on the corner, select search by class somewhere here, this one, material by several classes. So it will show you this screen. So here you can enter what material class you're looking for. So you can enter your class here, or you can search as well. So I can search here, I can click on search button, I can search here. So Z lab top, or I can just say Z lab star. It will show you everything that is available in Z lab. Maybe I need to try again. Not this one. I need to enter it here, the class name, not the keyword. So Z lab star. So that's the one I created. There's only one with the same name. And then you can either execute this one. It will show you all the materials that are assigned with this characteristic. So there's only one material assigned with this characteristic, and you can find it here. You can also filter it by characteristics. For example, I can search by color. I can say I want to search for this one, Z color. By Z color, say OK. I need to enter the class as well. So say OK. So by color it will find it. So it will show you all the materials here that are having that classification. So because there's only one material with that classification, if there are 10, you will see the list of 10 here. And you can select one of them, whatever you want. So I can select this one and click on confirm. And now you can jump to the material master here. So it will find that material here. Now you can go into the material master. So that is your classification of a material, and that is the use of a classification of a material, and that is how you can find a material using the classification function. Now we'll talk about let me check one more thing. There's another way. So if you want to say we have thousands of material with the same characteristics and same class, but you want to search for specific one with some specific entries. So in this case, for example, I can enter here Z laptop, Z color, and click on character value assignment. If I select this one, so for what color you're searching for? For example, I can say I'm searching for, say, red color. So I think there's nothing with red. So go back, or you can say list here. There's nothing here. See, it didn't. Sorry, it's showing one material here. Let me try again. Red here. Go to list button here. There's nothing here. So, but we have one material with a black one. So I can select black. Say okay. List here. No, I'm not sure why it's not showing anything here. So if I click, better click here, find object. Search. Not showing you that one. So that's how you can filter while doing the search. Next we have is material by batch. So you can also maintain a batch in the material master. So batch is a similar setting, but just a different name actually. So when you create the classification, let me go to MM02 again for classification. So I'm into the classification 001, which is class type 001 material class. I can click on this little button, other class type, and here I can select 023. We have different classification. You can see different classes like batch, configurable object, variants. The first four are the standard SAP. Last three are customized by someone. Okay, so just ignore the last three. The first four are the standard one. So by batch, I can select a batch. So the class is now batch. I can open that. And under batch, I can search for some material that are created under batch. So search for it. So these are the option available under batch. For example, I pick something, say this batch. Let me see what it is, or maybe bar. Let me try bar. Press enter. So here you can see measurement 1, measurement 2. So there is no value here maintained. So it's not a very good customizing. So length of the piece, I can select something. So same thing, but just a different concept. So this would what we'll use for the materials that are maintained by batch. So some materials are produced in a batch, that we'll talk later on how they work in the batch, which is a part of SAP PP. But here you can maintain some characteristics if you want. If you want to have some specific batch specific characteristics. So same thing, but just a different class type 23 you can use. Same goes for configurable material. Like some materials are configurable. Like if you're going to buy a car, so probably you want to buy a say Toyota Camry car. So again, what color, what type of seats you want, what model you want within that one, what engine size you want, how many doors, how many seats, things like that. So same way we can create a configurable material for anything that we want. So here in the screen you can see the example for a PC. So a PC, probably you can create different um, uh, options. For example, is a PC can be what is the operating system. So that's a bit out slide saying Windows 98, but what's the operating system, what type of casing, CPU, extras, whether you want to keyboard, mouse and all that, hard disk type, software that you want to have, color that you want to have, gloss that you want to have, and multimedia package or anything else like that, we can create in the configurable material types. Configurable materials is also even a separate, if you go into detail into the configurable materials, it is a separate module in SAP. So here in the material master, what you can do is if you click on this class type, and here you can select number 4 variant option, number 3, which is configurable object. Select that. So here if I search for, you can see the class is 200 now here. So here if I search for all the available class under this category, so let me pick something here. So I'll say Dell computer. So let me try this. Press enter. So here there is only one option here. So Dell 20 GB. So I can select one entry here. So basically the funda is same. All is the only difference is different class type. And same goes for the class number 4. As I said, the first 4 are the SAP standard. Variant. Select variant. Here you can see class number 300. Open the class. Search for the class under 300. So you can see you're searching under 300. Open that. So here I can say pick something. Car. Press enter. So here you can see certification. So these are the characteristics created for this class. Job processing. So as I shown you before, you can create whatever you want like that, and I can save it. So that is the classification and use of the classification purpose. Now we'll move on to the next part of the today's video, which is managing material master. How we can manage material master. So this part I've already shown you that how you can extend material master. So for example, earlier you have just created the basic views, but later on you want to maintain different views. So you can maintain for the same material, you can maintain first MRP view, you can also maintain purchasing view, basic data view. So any view you can maintain first and the other views can be maintained later on. There are different transactions to do to extend the material as well, but as per my experience, MM01 is the best transaction to extend it. Now we'll talk about material status. What material status is, when you open any material here, so let me open this material, and if I will unselect classification for now. I will just go for basic data and MRP data, and I will make it default. So under basic data, here you can see X plant material status. So under basic data 1 tab, here you have the option to search and assign a status. Here you can assign a status. So what this status is all about, like if you want to block a material, okay, so you can see here I have a block called Z9 over a block. So we can create different types of block for a material. So different types of block can be, you can have a block for costing only, you have a block for procurement only, you can have a block for BOM only, bill of material, that we'll talk later on. So here you can assign a block. So here you can assign a block, and for example, if I select this block here, that means if I select a block on the main screen on the basic data of the material master, so this block that is assigned on the basic data, that will be valid for all the plants. So it doesn't matter if the plant is in, the material is exist in 10 plants or 1 plant, it will be valid for all the plants. However, if you go to the MRP1 tab, you will find the same statuses here that you can assign here. For example, you can see the list here, same list here. So if you pick one status here and you can assign here at the plant level, this will be only valid for this plant. If you want to block this plant only, so like block this plant only, so this plant will be blocked, however the other plants will remain active. So that is how you can either block one plant, or you can block all the plants or the complete material if you go to the basic data tab here. So either you put here, if you want to block the material completely everywhere, then either you can block it here, or other option is put the same block in each of the plant, so that each plant is obsolete for this material. So that is a block. And how do we create this block, and what are the types of block that we have? So I show you here. If you go to the customizing, go to SPRO/NSPRO, the customizing, click on SAP reference IMG. So here you can, like I said earlier, you can go by the menu path, and the best in the customizing is do a Control F. If I do a Control F here, I search for the material status, press enter, it will search for material status. So that's the one under material master category. Select that or double click on that, it will jump to that screen or that menu path. So here we are, scroll down, define material status. Here you can create your own status. So either you can name it like Z something, and for example, if I want to create my own, so that here you can see all the existing status. For example, if I say block for procurement, this one, if I select that and go to details, so here you can put a type of block, in what area you want to block purchasing, you want to block BOM. So let me go back and I will create a new one. So click on new entry, give it a name with Z123 or Y123, or put your initial here. I'll call it only GS, and I'll say complete block. That means this material is blocked for everything. So you can have different types of block, as I said. So here, how you want to block it, like in the purchasing, do you want to block in the purchasing and you want to make it as an error, or you want to give it a warning only? So for example, some materials are newly created, and those newly created should not be immediately released to the production. So in this case, we can put a block here. So depending what area you want to block, either you can block all the areas or some specific areas, that is decided by the business. So here I can select B here. B is for error, A is for warning, A blank is doing nothing. So block for purchasing, here you can see BOM, bill of material, that we'll talk in the next topic. B, select B here. Routing will cover later on, put B here. MRP, put B everywhere here. Production, you want to block in production as well, put B here. And production resource and tools, you want to block here, put B. Plant maintenance module, B. Inventory management, B. Warehouse management, B, like that. So put everywhere B here, and this is the one for costing. When the finance people doing the costing, put B here. And if I save it, now this block will be available in my material master. Go back to material master mm02, open that, and here you will see the one I just created. So here if I open that, you can see GS, complete block. If I use this block, this material cannot be used in any BOM or anywhere else. So we'll talk about BOM and routing later on in the other topics, and I can save it if you want. So that's how you can block it. Now we'll talk about mass maintenance of material master. What mass maintenance is, like in my company, we got say thousands of material master record, and we need to change the data on a field of a material master for say 1000 record, right? So let's take example here. So let me go into this material master here, into MRP1, say any field. So we want to change all the MRP type to PD to ND, or let's take another example, go to MRP2. Here I want to change all the planned delivery time for all the material to say 20 here. I want to make it 20, but we want to do it for the 2000 material. That means, do we need to do it manually for the 2000 material? That will take a long time. It doesn't make a sense. Now we have some automatic tools in SAP, and some complex one as well, but there is a very easy tool for the mass maintenance of material, and you can use a transaction MM17. This is known as mass maintenance of material master. Mass maintenance of material master record. So I show you this one. Any field that you see here in the material master, you can change in mass in just 1 minute. So I show you. Go to the material under logistic, go to production, master data, material master, material MM17, see, mass maintenance. So open that. So here I show you, it will ask you, you want to change the general data like the basic data and all that, or you want to change the plant specific data, you want to change the valuation data, which is the accounting data, you want to change the storage location data. Like if I want to change the plant delivery time, that is a plant specific data on MRP2 tab. So any data within MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, they are plant specific. Select that for now. Click on execute button. Here you can enter only one material, or you can enter a bunch of material. For example, I got, say, you can click on this little button here on the corner, and I can say I got an Excel file which is given by the business. It got maybe thousands of materials that we want to change. So here I can say, for example, ABC material, ABC1 laptop, like that, and there are so many materials. So you can copy those material, like I can do a control C here, copy that, and here you can click on this little button to upload the copied data. So you can see it will copy everything here. So this way you can do it. So but here what I'll do, let me remove this one. Let me go to delete them. Let me try this laptop star. Execute that. Laptop star means, let me try this. If that means any material that is starting with laptop. So that's another option to do it within plant 1000. I want to change, say you can make it plant specific. Otherwise it will change in every plant. Execute that. So it found these materials with the name starting with laptop. So click on this little button on the corner on the top. It will give you the fields that you want to change. So click on this little button on the left hand side, top left hand side, select that. Now here you can select the fields. So it will show you all the field name in the alphabetical order. So I will select planned delivery time. Even the status of the material you can select here. So here is the planned delivery time. You can also pick more than one material, field if you want. Like I can select planned delivery time, and also I can select status of the material. Select those fields, click on this little button to choose. They will move to left and say OK. So here I want to change. So if there are 2000 material, it will show you all the 2000 materials here. I want to change the time to 20. Enter 20 here. If you want to put a block here, you can enter a block here as well. I can select the GS block that I just created. If you want GS block, I can use that, and I can click on this column here, first column and second column, and then click on this little button to carry out the mask change. If I click on this button, you will notice that it will change as per the value that I have entered here. See, they all change. Now if I save it, it will save all those materials. So it doesn't matter if there are 10 materials or there are thousands of materials, it will change all of them. So there are some errors for other materials which I think do not have the MRP data maintained. So just ignore that. Anything with the green light showing you it's done. Now if I come back to my material that I created earlier, it should have been changed. See here you can see 20. Even if you want to see who changed the material, you can go to environment, display change, press enter. There's a warning here, press enter, and here you can see this person changed. So whatever changes is done on this material, it will be recorded here. So who is changing what, who created, who changed, using what transaction, you will see that here. Even you can double click on that entry, it will tell you the changes. It will tell you that the old value of the planned delivery time was 0 and now it's 20. Old plant specific status was nothing, now it's GS, like that. So that's the mass maintenance of material. Now we'll talk about deleting a material master record. Now in real-time environment, we never delete any master data or any transactional data from the database itself. We mark it for deletion and we keep it for record. Marking it for deletion means this material cannot be used by anyone. When you mark it for deletion, like when you put a deletion flag on this one, it cannot be used by anybody or any plant or any transaction, but it will still reside in the database. So anyone can see the history of the material, anyone see the creation of the material, any data for the material just for record purpose, but still we can't use it anywhere. So if you want to delete a material, what we can do is there's a transaction called MM06 to mark for deletion. So here, go back. Somewhere here in the same menu path, you can go to flag for deletion, open that, MM06. Open that. Here I can enter the material. You can again delete at plant level, at store location level, or at the top level. So let me enter store location as well. Press enter. So if I put the deletion flag here, that means only this store location is obsolete. If I mark the plant level, that means this plant or any storage location under that plant is marked as for deletion. So only that plant is for deletion, but it will be active for all other plants if it exists. If I do it for the top level, that means it's deleted for everywhere, every plant, every store location. That's a hierarchy. So at any level you can put it for deletion. So I can mark the deletion and I can save it, press enter. See that I can come back into this one again and I can uncheck the box and I can make it active again if you want. So you can make it active, make it inactive by putting the deletion flag on here. So as I said, even if you created some material accidentally, we do not delete it in the real-time environment and nobody has access to delete it. But in what we do is, the best practice is to put the deletion flag on, and later on there's an archiving process which is done by some specialists who are the archiving specialists, and they use the archiving process to archive the materials, or even they can delete it if you want. But this process happens maybe once every 10 year, once every 8 year in any business, or maybe some business will never run archiving. So this is very rare will happen, but if it happens, it will happen after a couple of years. This is not something happens very regularly, because every business, they will keep their record for history purpose. So that's all for Material Master today. Now we'll do a recap of what we have seen today in this training. For Material Master, we have seen the different org levels that we maintain for a Material Master record, and how to create and change a Material Master record, how to create default MRP and forecasting profile. Now we know that different classification of a material, how the classification works and what is the purpose of the classification, and batch management using classification, and also the variant configuration using classification, and also the mass maintenance of Material Master using MM17 transaction, where you can change thousands of records in one go, and archiving and deletion process for the Material Master. So this is just the recap of our today's class. Now assignment time. So I'll give you this assignment that you need to do before you go further. So again, as I said earlier, doing assignment or doing as much practical as you can is the best way to learn SAP. So here in the assignment, I want you to create a Material Master record for a pump. You can call it pump, you can call it laptop, whatever you like. So just create a Material Master record for plant 1000 and create these views: basic view, sales view, purchasing view, MRP, work scheduling view, and save your record. Then create a new class and characteristic for your choice and assign to the above material that you just created. Also, I want you now extend the above material to these views, accounting and costing. So you need to extend the view to this accounting and costing view. Create a MRP and forecasting profile and test it on a creation of a new material. So just create one profile of your own. And last question is, how can you flag a material for deletion? So that's all for today, and I thank you very much for your time to watch this class. I will catch you in the next class. Thank you very much.